Hej alle sammen. Jeg hedder Lara, og jeg er forsker på CBS og VELUX. Vi prøver at forstå lufte og lyse og temperatur indenfor. We cannot feel when the air quality is getting bad. Maybe we feel if it's too warm, but carbon dioxide concentrations, although not dangerous themselves, are an indication that dangerous substances are in the air.
Hør fuglen, den pipper. Jasmia, kan du åbne det andet vindue, for jeg kan se, fuglen blinker rødt.
We can't notice it, but the bird can make a little tweet and help us understand that we need to air out the room that we're in right now. How can we help teachers or in other circumstances, residents in their homes or office workers in office buildings to be able to understand and to sense something that their bodies themselves cannot sense?
Hvor mange var der? Agnes? 3.
It was striking how differently both the teachers and the students are reacting to AirBird as versus the wall-installed sensors we already had in the classrooms. Those are easily forgotten within a day or two. They're not particularly interesting to look at, and there's no relationship that can be built. But almost instantaneously, children are curious. What is this yellow bird here? What is it doing? Why is it coming in our classroom? And they already start to care for it in a way. It tends to be the teacher who hears the bird tweeting or sees the light and says, okay, now we have to open the door or we have to open the window because it's time for us to air out the classroom. So they are really the interpreters of the signal.
Hvad er det, vi skal bruge for at trække vejret? Er der nogen, der kan fortælle mig det?
Vi skal bruge vores lunger.
Præcis, vi skal bruge vores lunger.
Ideally, I would like to see that this becomes a way for children to identify with something invisible, to learn for themselves about not just indoor air quality, but their own bodies and what this has to do with what they're not able to sense, along the lines of how they're already learning about microorganisms in biology, chemistry, or even today when I was making observations in the classroom, the children were learning about Saturn and Jupiter. So there are all kinds of very important phenomena, invisible to us, invisible to children, that we still need to learn about in a pedagogical way. I would say one thing that was perhaps unexpected about researching with AirBird in the early days was that when we had it with the older kids in the 9th class, then it wasn't necessarily a good idea to leave the bird out in the classroom because, well, can we say teenagers will be teenagers? So that's a challenge also. This is why we think it's interesting for research, because it invites interaction. So even if I can say, well, it's maybe not a good idea if a teenager is playing too much with the bird, it's a good sign because it says, okay, it's inviting to be interacted with.